Okay.
I'm Belle Chen and I'm a pianist and sound artist, and I'm here to talk about my third album, Departure. I think I find music to be a very important part of my self-expression, of communicating my experiences. I think growing up I've always been really shy, so I'm not very good with the words. And very naturally, music is part of my communication tool to really speak about my experience and these really special moments in life and share it with people in an unfiltered and really real way. Because I think sometimes with words you can dress things up, but with music the feeling is direct and you can't. There's no filter. So that's what drives me to make my music. So the inspiration for Departure, the album, was this deep hunger and need to recreate sounds from traditional music and instruments, but on the Western piano. So I went through this phase of listening to a lot of gamelan music, traditional Chinese music, flamenco, a vast variety of this so-called world music, in brackets. And I wanted to see as a pianist how I could recreate that sound, but in a more contemporary context on the piano. So to achieve this, I started to put metal screws in, and also blue tack. And these are techniques that have done before by pioneering American composers such as John Cage and George Crumb. But in this instance, I wanted to adapt it very specifically to create this sense of basically a gong ensemble luring you deeper into the forest, into the jungle, for this moment of sunrise. Departure for me is a bit like my own hero's journey. It's very much based about nature and the sounds that I was evoking through the piano evokes the feeling of the tropical jungle, making your way through a jungle, and the sense of a village coming to life. And then there are moments in the album where it feels like you are very high in the mountain, in an altitude, and it's misty, and you hear these echoes of sounds that are like Chinese erhu bouncing around. There's this track called Shui, which is water, and that track evokes the flow of water down the stream in its various forms as well. So I was born in Taiwan, and Taiwan is kind of like an island, and in the middle of the island there's a central mountain range that is comprised of like these huge magnificent mountains as a result of the tectonic movements. And if you are ever to hike these mountains, don't go along because you may never come back, but once you get to a certain altitude you find it to become very misty because you're actually walking in a cloud. And then there will be this moment where you pop up on the other side and you're looking down at the cloud, which is just beautiful. That's the place I had in mind when I was recording parts of the album, especially the tracks San and Shui. I don't remember any difficulties. No, I wouldn't say so. I really enjoyed every part of the process. I was very careful not to break the piano, if that was a difficulty, but otherwise, yeah. Departure is my third full-length studio album, and I think with each of these albums, they are like a time capsule of me and my mindset, both as a musician and also as a person. And I think when I was writing Departure, this album, I have healed in a certain way already, and I'm more confident having been through the previous journeys. So I think Departure, for me, working on it and at the end of it, is me standing on my 2 feet and saying to the world, this is my first album of original music. This is who I am as a pianist. I'm open and I'm curious, I'm free. And I think that's a sound, that kind of sense of radiance is what is embodied in this particular album, I think. I want to create works that embody my life. So create a huge portfolio that I can share with people that tells a story about where, who I am and where I have been and the people I've met. And ultimately that's quite deep. And I want to create the type of music that people will listen to long after I'm dead.